Why, good morning, beautiful souls, and welcome to Mark Bayeski YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, where we have almost daily inspirational, uplifting and positive messages to help us along our journey. Today is a beautiful day in Mijas Pueblo, and I feel blessed to be alive today. I feel overjoyed. I feel the presence of happiness within my body and my soul. I feel the joy of the future without knowing it. And that's called trust. I work on a level of trust these days whereby I don't look at time. I don't believe in focusing too much on any one thing. I believe in emptying my mind and finding the true flow of life. And that is simply being who I am and believing in who I am at any given moment. Not trying to be anything that I want to be, but accepting who I am at that moment. And that for me is a profound way of life now. It releases the pressure. It releases the worry and the fears and the what ifs from my mind, my body, and my physical pains. So I actually manifest a vibration in my body which is so powerful, I'm always healing constantly. So that's my journey now. I believe I've elevated to a level of happiness, and I believe with my hand on my heart that fear doesn't really play a part in my life anymore. And I am living proof that once you clear that fear, your physical body becomes stronger, your emotional body becomes more powerful, and everything is possible. And at that given moment, we create a light that is so bright that people around the world can feel that light without you even realizing. There is no ego in that. It is just pure love coming from somebody who has decided to say no to negativity, to people's worries and fears, to time, to the system, and to all that holds us and suppresses us. I've done that. And it's made a huge impact on not only my life, but people who surround me day to day. They feel that love and they ask me daily, Mark, why are you so happy? And I say, I don't really know. Because in truth, all what I've said to you is very true and very real. But have I actually implemented that in a daily practice that I've had to have done? No, I don't. I haven't done that. It's just naturally come into my life every time something that upset me, that I realised that I can't cope with this anymore. My body couldn't cope with this feeling anymore. It couldn't cope with the heaviness anymore. So I had two choices. I either hold on to that and feel the pain and suffering of others, or I let it go. So basically, everything that's happened to me, and up to this moment, I'm 50 years old, all of the above has simply been part of my journey. So I don't ask you to take steps towards this. I don't ask you to be who I am. I'm simply here as a reassurance to you that says that this will happen to you in its right moment. Because you have to experience these challenges to be able to say, you know, enough is enough. I don't need this in my life anymore. And once you do that once, it's a really beautiful, natural process for the rest of your life. So you basically gently turn away from suffering. You turn away from pain. You turn away from people's weaknesses and stresses and worries and fears. And you don't do it because you think there's anything wrong with it. You just don't want to be in that energy. So then you choose your friends wisely. You spend less time with people who are not as elevated in the energy that you are. Not to say there's anything wrong with them. You don't look down on people because they're in that place, because we were. So basically you just say, thank goodness I'm growing in my own way. And I wasn't actually going to talk about this in this video. I've just realised I was going to talk about something else. Okay, well, let's talk about what I was going to talk about originally, which is crashing the walls of ego and people's greatness and power, or so they think. Something last night happened to me in the early hours in the morning where I was with a dear friend, and we were both working very hard towards clearing something in and around her life. I worked very hard, and in the morning I woke up and I was exhausted. And I realised what I had done. You see, there is a philosophy, there is a principle, there are books that talk about a certain form of work that certain people do. And there are many different words they use, or big words, or fancy words, or very egoistic words. And it's basically your spirit working when you're asleep. You see, we tend to think that our body is who we are, and we differentiate between the physical and the spiritual, whereas a matter of fact, it's our spiritual is who we are. We think that our physical is who we are, but it isn't. The physical body is just a suit. That's all it is. And that suit eventually disappears, and we are still the spirit. The spirit never ever dies, and it never ever sleeps. It's internal, it's forevermore, it's external, it's everything. It's infinite, it's awareness, it's power, it's who you are, it's who we are. We are all one, we're all connected. The sea, the drop of water, there's no difference. Just drop that water back into the sea and we are one. That's spirit, that's who we are. On a day-to-day level, when we meet people, we subconsciously work with them on a spiritual level without our physical knowing this. So when we hold each other and connect, we then have a bond, and there is something very deeply profound about that. Let me explain what I mean. When a child falls, you run over and rub their knee. Why is that? Because your spirit is a natural healer, so it will run over and rub the knees like a mother to a child. Everything that we do, we work on a spiritual level. But the books that are written about this absent healing, this astral projection, and all of these things, we all do every night. Every night our spirit continues working. And those books that people write about their experiences, is simply their experience. And you're thinking, oh, I wonder how I can do that. I have hundreds of emails a year. How do I astral project? How do I, do this? You do it. It's a natural thing. You are a natural healer. What I've been trying to share with you over these years is that you are everything that you read about these gurus, about these people who do these amazing things. You do them naturally every day. So what I'm trying to tell you is that never buy into people's ego, or never try and look at somebody as if they are special. They're not. They're just sharing a journey because they've experienced it, which you may not have because you're too busy with the system that you work in, which is paying your mortgage, running around, taking your child to school, all the things that you have to do from day to day, all the worries and stresses. These people who have experienced this are people who have a different life, a different way of life, of feeling, of thinking, of their emotions. So each one of us, in general, has the ability to do everything and are doing everything in their own natural form. But it's hard for us to see that. I'll give you an example. When I first started this field of work 13 years ago, I met a lady whose gift was to see what I didn't know I was doing. Think about that. So every time I did something, she would turn and say, Mark, do you realise what you've just done? And I'd go, no, what? And she'd tell me and I'd go, oh my God, really? So she awoken my senses as what I'm trying to do for you. I'm trying to awaken your senses to who you are and how amazing you are. And don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever let a book make you feel weak or that you can't be that, because you are that. You are everything. You travel every night. You heal every day. You give and love and share and feel, and you are psychic every day. You feel the presence of your family every day. You are with your family in spirit every night and every day. Don't you ever forget that. Yesterday, I sat down at a cafe, and just for a split second, when I was asked, Mark, why don't you sit down for a drink with us? I stopped and thought, no, I better move on. But then I said, you know what? Okay, I'll sit down. And as I went to sit down, an old man at the age of 75 years old was coming down the steps right next to me and tripped. And as he tripped, I saw him and I caught him from falling. And it would have been a very bad fall. I lifted him back up and I said, my dear friend, that's synchronicity, Spirit's helping hand. It was a beautiful moment for me to realise that we are all angels, that we are all beautiful souls who help one another along a journey. And when you hold on to that principle that you are amazing and you're here for somebody every day, then your life changes and you realise why you're in this world. So today, clear your fear and remember how amazing and beautiful and important you are in this world. From my heart to yours, I love you all. Have a beautiful day, guys. Catch this. Bye.